Okay, let us click on called. So arrays means that it is a collection of elements where each element is of same type. So array is a collection of elements where each element will be of same type. The arrays of any type can be created and may have one or more dimension. It means that you can create single dimension array or you can create multi-dimensional array. That is what we call it as one or more dimension. Similarly, arrays of any type means that you can create integer array or you can create float array or you can create double array, anything else. So it can be classified into two types. One is one dimension array and another one is multi-dimensional array. So in general, we can say array is a collection of elements of same data type. We have to remember, we should not forget it. An array is a collection of elements of same data type. So when we come towards the syntax of an array, the general syntax says that data type followed by the variable name of subscript value. So this is what if there is only one dimensional array, if it is a one dimensional array, there will be a single subscript. If it is a multi-dimensional array, there may be more than one subscript. So type followed by variable name of single subscript mention that it is a one dimensional array. If there is more than one subscript, then we can say it as multi-dimensional array. So in order to allocate the memory in the array, so we have to give the array variable name equal to new and then again data type. In that square bracket, we have to give the size. If it is two-dimensional array, we have to give two sizes. That is multi-dimensional array, we have to give two sizes. So this is what how to allocate the memory. So in order to allocate the memory, if it is a one-dimensional array, if it is a two-dimensional array, then we have to give the data type followed by the variable name equal to again new followed by a data type, and within the square bracket we have to give the size. So here if it is an integer, then you have to give it as int space followed by month days equal to new int of 12. If it is two-dimensional array, then we can give int 2d square bracket, two square brackets followed by a new int of two sizes we have to give. So let us have discussion on how to create an array. So similarly, the syntax says that data type followed by array name of square bracket. If you give square bracket before the variable name, it is also acceptable. Here it is what we have shown that int subscript bracket followed by a space and your variable name. Int subscript of space grades. After that, in the second line, you can allocate the memory grades equal to new int of 5. So this is the first one is called as declaration part, and the second one is called as memory allocation part. So we can declare and also allocate the memory in a single step also, or else we can do the same process in two steps also. If I want to initialize the arrays, then it is also possible. That is int your array bracket space grades equal to You can give your own values. That's also possible. If it is a string type, then you can give the string values enclosed in double quotes. Students, have a look on this slide for a minute. If you have any doubt till now, you can ask. Okay, let us have an example. Class name, and then public static void main of string args of, and then int a of equal to, we are going to give some 4 values in the array. Rather than getting the input either through command line or runtime, we are going to give the input in the program itself. So in order to access the elements, in order to find the length of an array, we are having a dot length. The a dot length will give you the size of an array. For int I is equal to 0, I less than a dot length. A dot length means that it will find out the length of an array. The length of an array is 4 here. So this loop will run from 0 to 3 because I less than a dot length we have mentioned. So from 0 to 3, this loop will be executed. So within the println statement, we have given it as a of I, so that each and every value will be printed. That is, the 303 will be print, followed by in the next line 30 will be print, and 4 and 5 and so on. Let us now discuss how to pass an array to the method in Java. So in order to pass an array to the method, let us have an example. Again, class samp array of. Within that samp array, we are having a method called as min method, which is of type static void and int arr of. There is no need to mention the size here. So arr of will receive the array input. And then int min equal to arr of 0. So the first element will be stored in min. And the for loop, in that for loop, we are going to check the next values in from the array in order to find out the minimum value. So the first value, the arr of 0 is already stored in min. The arr of 0 will be compared with the next consecutive elements, so that this loop will be executed from 1 to arr dot length, and within that min, within that for loop, we are going to check whether the min is greater than the next element arr of I. If it is so, then we will consider the min as arr of I, and finally we are going to print that minimum element. So within the main method, we are going to give int a of equal to we are going to give the four values 303, 30, 4 and 5 respectively. And we have called the method min of A. Here we have to note that the min of A, the A is an array variable. The particular A will be stored in ARR of. And also one more thing we have to note here is the method min is called here without any object. The reason behind this is here the min method is set as static one. We have already known that the static method can be called without any object. So the min of method is called here without an object. So when you execute this program, you will get the 4 as a result, which is the minimum value among the 4 values. Students, have a look on this program. If you have any doubt, then you can ask now. Let us discuss the next topic, that is parsing anonymous arrays in Java. So in order to parse the anonymous arrays in Java, first of all, we have to know what is mean by anonymous array. The anonymous arrays says that the array which does not contain any more variable is called as anonymous array. The Java supports the feature of anonymous array, so you don't need to declare the array while passing an array to the method. So public class sample anonymous array of, this is what array name, and then in that static void print array, the argument is set as again ARR of, and within that for loop we are going to print the elements. In public static void main of, here again we call the method print array of. The print array method is set as static method, so without an object we are going to call the method print array, and then we are going to pass the arguments directly as array arguments. See here, new int of, within the braces we are going to give the values. These 4 values will be considered as a single array, and that single array will be stored in ARR of. This is called as anonymous array. Students, again I repeat, the anonymous array means that without any declaration, you can pass the array arguments in Java. So that is called as anonymous array. So here print array of new int of 10, 22, 44 and 66. We didn't store these values in any more variable. So without variable, we are going to pass the set of values as an array that is called as anonymous array. So the next one is how to access the multidimensional array in Java. So the multidimensional arrays, here again, class SAMP and public static void main of. Here we are having two-dimensional array in ARR of equal to, we are going to here we are having two subscripts, and we are storing 3, 6 and 9 values. So we are going to store 3 cross 3 values. That is 0, 0 will be referenced by value 1 and 0, 1 will reference 2 and 0, 2 will reference 3. And similarly, the position 1, 0 will contain the value 2. That is the position 0, 0 will contain the value 1. Position 0, 1 will contain the value 2. And position 0, 2 will contain the value 3. And similarly, the position 1, 0 will reference the value 2 and position 1, 1 will reference the value 4 and position 1, 2 will reference the value. Similarly, the position 2, 0 will reference the value 4 and 2, 1 will reference the value 4 and 2, 2 will reference the next value 5. Within that for loop, we are in need of two for loops here. For of int I equal to 0, I less than 3, I plus plus, and for of int j equal to 0, j less than 3, j plus plus. And within that two loops, we are going to from the inner loop, we are going to access the element ARR of I comma j, so that system.out.print of ARR of I comma j, so that the first value 0, 0's value followed by space, 0, 1's value followed by space, and 0, 2's value, that is 1, 2, 3 will be printed as a first iteration of ith loop. And when the first iteration of ith loop ends, we are having a println statement, so that the control will get into next line and I will be incremented by 1, and again 1, 0, 1, 1, 1, 2 will be print, and in the next new line 2, 0, 2, 1, 2, 2 will be printed respectively. The next concept, jagged arrays in Java. Jagged arrays means that it is an array of array with different number of columns. For example, within that main method, we are having int ARR of new int of 3 comma open bracket. Here we didn't give the size of the column. The size of the column will be varied for each and every rows here. That is ARR of zeros, column size will be set as 3 and ones is set as 4 and the twos is set as 2. Which means that here we are having two-dimensional array. So of size 3 comma space, which means that there will be 3 rows, that is 0th row, first row and second row. For the 0th row, we have mentioned the size as 3 so that we can store the element as 0, 0, 0, 1 and 0, 2. And ARR of 1, we have set the size as 4. So the positions will be 1 0, 1 1, 1 2, and 1 3. Similarly, for ARR of 2, we have set the size as 2 0 and 2 1. So see here the column sizes are different. So that is called as jagged array. It is an array of arrays with different number of columns. So for int I equal to 0, I less than ARR of dot length, and similarly j to ARR of I dot length. So that this I loop will be executed for 3 times and this j loop will executed again for 3 times. Here we set the value as count plus plus, so it will be, the value will be stored as 0, 1 and 2. And when ith loop is incremented, now ARR of I dot length will set as 4. So now the j loop will be executed for 4 times. And when the I is incremented once again, this j loop will be executed for 2 times. So when you print this, you will get the values as 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 respectively. So this is what we call it as a jagged arrays in Java. If you have any doubt in this, you can ask now. Students, have a look on this program for a minute. If you have any doubt in this program, then you can ask now. So let us discuss how to perform a copying an array from one array to another array in Java. So here we are having two forms of array. One is copy from and another array as copy to. Let us set the copy to size as 7, and in copy from array we are going to store set of all values. This is of character type, so we are going to store the values enclosed within the single quotes. And there is a method called as array copy. The method is resided in the class system class, so that system.array copy of source array. The source array is set as copy from array, and then the position from where the copying process has to be started. Here we have set as 2, so that the 0th position is D, and first position there is a letter E, and in second position there is a letter D. From D, the character sets are copied. So to where the destination array is set as copy to, and then in that destination array, the position in from which position to which position the values have to be copied. Here it is set as 0 to 7, so that in copy to array from 0 to up to 7 values, it will get it from the copy from array. The copy from arrays 2's position plus up to 7, that is 2 to 7. So that the values D, O, C, T, O, R and S will be copied to the array copy to. so that the output will be doctors. That is from 0 to 7, which means that so we are going to copy the values from 0 to 6, it will be copied. So 0 to 6 means that D, O, C, T, O, R. It will be copied. And finally, we are having the destination position as 7. Here also the size is also set as 7. So that the 7th value S will also be copied. Which means that from 2, the copy from arrays starting position is 2. From the second position, it will pass the value up to 7, which means that doctors, that is totally we are going to pass 7 values. Those 7 values will be passed in copy to array. So when you access system.out.println of string.value of copy2, so the value of is the method which is used to convert the character array into string type. String.value of copy2, the values which are stored as an character array will be passed as string type, and the output will be printed like this, doctors. I repeat. So in the copy from array, we are set from the position 2, we have to copy, and in copy to array, we have to copy the value from 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Totally 8 values we have to store. Okay. So the in copy from array, 2's position points to D. So the D will be stored in 0th position of copy 2. And O will be stored in 1. C will be stored in position 2. T will be stored in position 3. O will be stored in position 4. R will be stored in position 5. And S will be stored in position 7. That last position will be excluded. That is up to 0 to 7 means that 0 to 7 minus 1, n minus 1, 0 to 6 values. So which means that totally 7 values will be considered, and up to 7th value, that is totally 7 values will be stored in the array copy 2. So from position 2 of copy from array, which will store the values from 0 to 7, that is 0 to 6, 0 to n minus 1, totally 7 values will be received from copy from array from the position 2, and which will be stored in the destination array, that is copy to array. If you have any doubt in this program, then you can ask now. Students, have a look on this program. If you have any doubt in this, then you can ask now. Yes, whether it is understandable to everyone. Yes, Vignesh, yes. Are you there? Yes, Vignesh.
Sir.
Yeah, can you explain this program?
Sir, yes, sir. Sir, first we want to initialize the array that could be copied. We have used copy function to copy an array. One is copy from function, and second is copy to. copy from is used
It's
to.
not a function. The copy from is the source array. The source
Okay.
array's name is copy from. It's not a function.
Okay, sir. Okay.
Hmm.
Copy from array is used to store the elements, and copy to array is used to the element that could be copied. System dot array copy is a function that it is a that function. It tells what the address to be copied from the index 2 to 6 could be copied 2 to, sir, up to 7 in the copy to array it will be copied, sir. It's from copy to it will be start from copy to and up to the space filled. It could be copied in copy to array. A system out function println function is used to print the copied values, sir.
Okay, nice, Vignesh. Only one thing you have to say is it's not a function. You have to say it as
Okay,
method,
sir.
because
Okay.
in Java the function is called as a method. Okay,
Okay,
congrats, Vignesh.
thank you, sir.
So if anyone have any doubt in this, you can ask. The next one is, with the help of for each loop, how to access the elements in Java. So we have already discussed this. So there is a loop called as for each loop in Java. With the help of for each loop, it is possible to access the elements from the array. So using for each loop, how to access the elements of the array. Here we are having int of age equal to 12, 4, and 5. That is, we are going to store 3 values in the variable age. And then for int a colon age. This is called as for each loop. So which means that at the first iteration, the variable a points to age of 0. That is 12 will be pointed. So system.out.println of a, so that 12 will be printed. And then in the next iteration, a will be pointed to age of 1, and in the final iteration, a will be pointed to age of 2. And after that, when the array's age size is over, that is age is completed, the loop will be exit. So here system.out.println of a, so that the 12, 4, and 5 will be printed in each and every new line. The output will be 12, followed by the next line 4, and in the next line 5. The output will be like this. That is 12, in the next line 4, in the next line 5 will be printed.